Grand Rising family, happy rising. It's good to see everyone. I hope everyone is having a very good day. Let me just check this audio because sometimes we have a problem with audio. So, Grand Rising family, check in, please, and let us know where you're hailing from. Welcome. I won't be on long. I'm here with family. I told you, some of you, that I'm spending time with family, so I haven't been able to go live, or I've chosen not to go live every day. But good morning, Grand Rising, Joyous Rising. Happy 17th. Today is February the 17th, 2025, and the time is 9:50 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So check in. I see Rich Pritch. Good morning, or Grand Rising, Great Rising. We try our best not to say good morning because there's nothing to mourn about right now. We're excited about this wonderful new reality that we're in. Grand Rising, Love Being Nubian, thank you for being here. Grand Rising Clifton, Grand Rising Scorpio, Grand Rising JC. Welcome, everybody. This is the 17th. You all know we love the 17 number because it represents Q, is symbolic of Q and the Q movement. Q is the highest clearance or military clearance that you can have in the government. And we know that during this movement, people high up in military, people with high clearances have been dropping certain cues as to what's going on behind the scenes with President Trump ending the deep state. So just briefly, this AM, this rising, I desire to share the significance of President Trump's executive order to get rid of paper straws. Now, this has become a topic of discussion across mainstream media because they're saying that paper straws are better for the ecology, is better for the universe. It's just better in terms of paper disintegrating, better than plastic. Then you see some people saying that it actually costs more to manufacture paper straws than it does to manufacture plastic straws. So it depends upon which side of the fence you're on as to whether or not we should have paper straws or plastic straws. But you have to know that when President Trump does something, and not just President Trump, but the Grand Army of the Republic or Earth Alliance, there's always a symbolic meaning behind what he's doing. So think about the straw man, or plastic straws versus paper straws. I think we need to focus more on the paper straws. And when you really, really examine that, the symbolism appears to be that President Trump is getting rid of the Strawman account. So that's why you keep saying straws, paper, straws on paper versus plastic. So what happened is when the deep state took over and usurped authority from our republic, they stopped looking at us as living beings and they started looking at us as a dead person. We're dead at sea. And that was in alignment with maritime law or admiralty law, which is something that the deep state put us on. Maritime law, admiralty law, the law of the water, law of the sea, versus being placed on the land or us being living beings on the land. Admiralty law versus constitutional law, or the law of the land. So what they did was saying that declared us dead at sea, and they had us all to create a Strawman account, which is your all capital letters account. So instead of Kia Pruitt, we were taught in school capital K, lowercase I, lowercase a, and then Pruitt, capital P, lowercase Ruitt. Well, the Strawman account is this my all caps name. The Strawman account represents the dead version of you, because a corporation, United States Incorporated, the government is a corporation. They are a dead entity. They cannot communicate with the living. So they had us all to create, or they created for us, a Strawman account, which are all capital letters account, meaning now that you're a dead entity that they communicate with. Well, President Trump is saying we're getting rid of the paper straws. Your all caps name was on paper. Your social security account has all capital letters. Your birth certificate, your bills that come to you are all capital letters. And the reason why they do that is because they have you to go in with your living body, but representing that straw man, because a lot of us haven't taken power back from that straw man. Well, now President Trump is saying through codes, I'm getting rid of the man that was dead on paper, the paper straw accounts. Okay. And the purpose of doing that is because you cannot give a dead man wealth. Okay, we're entering into a golden era where we're now going to have billions of billions, or no, trillions of dollars injected into the global economy. And some of that is coming to you and to me, but you cannot give a dead entity money or wealth. But you can give a living, breathing soul, a living, breathing man wealth. So everything President Trump is doing is coded. But when you understand and understand how they operate, then you know that there's some significance to it. So get excited about this conversation of getting rid of paper straws. So the mainstream media will spin it to make you think, oh, it's paper versus plastic. Plastic is not good for you, but there's a method behind the madness. And so what we actually saw is some restaurants getting rid of straws altogether. How they're going to play this out, I'm not sure. I don't know if they're going to come up with real straws or if some restaurants just won't have straws like some of the restaurants have done. But just know, family, that he's collapsing the straw man accounts. Now you'll be able to go in and do business as a living, breathing soul, and you will have your own private trust because you're all going to put your assets in a trust and you're going to operate in trust as a living man, as a living woman. So just always look behind the rhetoric and keep your emotions in check. That's all what I just want to encourage you to do, family. Stay high vibrational. Know that there's a method to everything that's going on, and mainstream media will try to blow things out of proportion. Okay. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention before I left to go spend some more time with family. Okay. Another thing in the news is that Elon Musk and his Department of Government Efficiency is asking for access to the IRS taxpayer data. And that is causing an uproar or a stir in the mainstream media. But my desire for you is to stay encouraged because we know that Elon Musk and President Trump, two great big billionaires, are operating in trust to bring us back to the republic, to bring us back to a place of prosperity, to bring us back to being living, breathing souls that will now have wealth. Okay, two billionaires. Somebody asked me in my family, why do they need billionaires to do this? Because these entities that were controlling the world, they're billionaires, these so-called elite people. Well, when you have billionaires going against billionaires, now the people, the bad people don't have power. Okay, because they're not just going up against little people without money. They're going against the richest man in the world, Elon Musk, and his sidekick, President Trump. Okay, so we're talking about a battle that's been going on between bloodline families for centuries. This isn't even just about, good versus evil. It is on a larger scale, but and it's not about this human against that human and that race against that race. We're talking about interdimensional beings and their bloodline human hybrids that they created that have been warring against each other for millennia on various planets, now playing out in our reality. The war has been going on interdimensionally other places, but it now is ending here. Okay, so when you look at this information here that says Elon Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency is asking for access to IRS data, you'll see some sources saying that the Department of Efficiency doing this is causing an issue because they're asking for our private information, and they're saying it's causing alarm within the government and the private sector or amongst private experts, because they say granting Musk this type of access could be extraordinarily dangerous. Well, how could it be any more dangerous than the people that's been selling our data? Okay, everybody has our data. Who are they fooling? So, but I just want to encourage you that Elon Musk asking for our private data or asking for the IRS data is really just one way of the IRS being audited. Now, isn't it interesting that the IRS was okay with auditing you and hiring 87,000 agents, saying that they could look at your information and make sure you're paying taxes. And if you're not, they were given the permission to shoot us on task if we don't pay the IRS. Okay, so they didn't have a problem with auditing us. The IRS didn't. But now that Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency is saying we're going to audit them, they're kicking and screaming and saying, oh my God, this is something we should be, alarmed about. Well, I'm telling you, family, anybody that wants access to your data can. Okay, so Musk asking for that is a way for them to downsize the IRS. Remember, one of Trump's promises is that he's going to get rid of the internal revenue services and create the external revenue services. He's going to stop taxing we the people, and he's going to start taxing governments and companies that are doing business with us. Because before the deep state took over our republic, that's the way it used to happen. The government used to earn money by just taxing other nations that wanted to do business with us. Well, now, we have the situation where we're being taxed. Okay, so President Trump is reversing all that. We're not going to tax the people. We're going to get rid of the IRS. We're going to tax these other governments, and we're going to make the environment conducive to our companies that moved abroad to come back home. And that's why Trump said the other day to all of these CEOs of major companies that moved abroad, come home or pay up. Okay, so what we see happening is the Department of Government Efficiency downsizing the government in alignment with the Supreme Court of the United States, saying that, look, we've got to overturn the Chevron doctrine. Look up the overturning of the Chevron doctrine, because before, all of these so-called fake government agencies could create any statutes, codes, policies that they desired, force us to go abide by them. And if we didn't go by them, we had to pay a fine or a penalty. For example, all of these licenses, marriage license, marriage license, licenses to be a credit repair specialist, license to do this, license to drive, license to do that. All that was created in order to make us pay these agencies. And that is, that's unconstitutional. That's unconstitutional. So that is what the Supreme Court of the United States determined. The Supreme Court of the United States determined that all these agencies forcing us to, abide by all their policies is treasonous and unconstitutional. So they said, not only are we overturning the Chevron doctrine, but we are going to downsize the government, or make it more palatable to downsize the government by calling them treasonous. And so they went further and they said any judge that knew of these agencies that were doing this to the people, making them abide by all these policies and force them to pay fines, they have committed treason, as well as these government agencies. And in any time we would go to court to try to appeal it, then the judges would defer us back to these government agencies. Well, now the Supreme Court saying, well, Judge, now you are treasonous just like those agencies. And any judge that knew of a judge that allowed this to happen, they have now committed misprision of treason. So I just want to encourage you, family, and let you know that all of this is being overturned. We see the downsizing of the government happening right before our eyes. So stay encouraged. If you are not sure what to do about the IRS, then go back and look at my video I did the other day, where I said that the IRS is actually offering what's called a fresh start opportunity, where you may not even have to pay your taxes. They have a fresh start program. Then some people are saying, don't even file taxes if you don't want to pay them, because once you sign the form, you're consenting paying. Paying taxes is voluntary. Paying taxes is really unlawful. Okay. So I'm not going to tell you what to do, because I'm not an expert in that area, but some people are choosing not to even file, or you can file for an extension. And I've been saying that for a long time. I've shown you, articles where the IRS even a couple years ago told people not to file, and now they're coming up with a fresh start program. So what I'm saying, family, is that things are moving in our direction for our favor. We also know that President Trump came up with the Sovereign Wealth Fund. The Sovereign Wealth Fund is a vehicle that has assets: gold, silver, palladium, platinum, rare earth minerals, stocks, bonds, foreign reserves, which are foreign currencies, in a fund for the government now to develop our nation, help with the infrastructure, the roads, all that, and is operating as an investment vehicle. So the government can now invest in other things. So the government on one hand is downsizing, but the republic will now have a wealth fund to help we the people. So They're downsizing the government, which means they're getting rid of the deep state. They're getting rid of the United States Incorporated and admiralty law and maritime law. And all of this is related. That's why President Trump is talking about getting rid of paper straws. He's getting rid of the Strawman account. Why, Dr. Pruitt? I'll say one more time, because you cannot give wealth to some entity that's dead. Everything they do is symbolic. Even if you go back to the Alabama Brawl, that was all symbolic about ending maritime law. That's why they kept talking about more. These Black people were mooring to the waters, mooring back to shore to move the docketed ship that was owned by shipmen. Okay. Then you saw the Black so-called captain of the ship, whatever you call him, take off his hat, toss it up. That was a signal. Now you saw some people mooring to shore, coming to rescue him. Then you saw a brawl between two entities, and they tried to make it, exciting for people and get people talking about race and make you think it was about Black people and white people fighting each other. You saw like a WWE style fighting, but this was all about the ending of maritime law, which is why they had to row to shore. And I had a whole deep dive on that. Everything they do is coded messages about us ending the whole system dealing with the laws of the water, because you're no longer dead at sea. Okay. You're not now returning to constitutional law and the law of the land. So I'm not going to stay on longer because I told you guys I'm with family and we have to go and take care of business. But stay encouraged, family. This is an exciting time to be alive, okay? And you just have to keep your eyes open, and more importantly, your spiritual eye open, your first eye here. Your pineal gland. What do they call this first eye? You guys know what they call the first eye. It escapes me. But keep that open and you'll be able to see what they're really doing behind the scenes. So that's about it, family. My name is Dr. Kia Pruitt. It was my great pleasure to come on just for a few minutes. I have to go and spend time with family. I love you all so very much. I'll put up some more videos when I get back. I hope I've said something to raise your vibrations and inspire you to create the most amazing, magnificent life that you desire and deserve. Today is the 17th, so expect some type of news to come out. After the end of the day, we'll come back to see what happened on today. So I love you. Stay encouraged. Yes. Okay. Somebody's saying it's the third eye. Peace, family. Take care and make this a great day. Bye-bye.